Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the BitcoinMeister, the DisruptMeister. Welcome to Today in Bitcoin. Today is February 23rd, 2017, and I have a very special guest on the show. She is making her return to the show, actually. Her first appearance was legendary. Let's make this second appearance legendary. It is Amanda B. Johnson of Dash. Welcome to the show, Amanda.
Thank you, Adam.
Well, let's get right to it. Everyone's talking Dash because the price is soaring all of a sudden. What's your theory behind the soaring price of Dash?
Sure. Well, I guess if I had to guess, not much has changed. Well, no. Let me give a brief overview of what's happened in the last 2 weeks. So 2 weeks ago, February 5th, we pushed an update. It was called 12.1. And as far as the end user experience right now, you won't notice any main differences in Dash functionality. But what is packed within the 12.1 that has yet to be utilized is maybe what people are beginning to notice, like programmatic types. Perhaps they're actually looking at the code of what is called Sentinel. So Sentinel is being run alongside our core code. And apparently this is going to make it so that in the future, when we would like to update to offer more features to our end users, it won't have to be such a drama that hard forks are, basically, in that it will only require changes to Sentinel rather than changes to the core code. And so masternode owners to make these updates, rather than having to resync the blockchain, download a whole new core wallet, restart their remotely hosted masternodes, this stuff that can take up to a full day or two of your time. Instead, all they'll have to do is put in one little wallet command, whoop, update Sentinel, and done, like we have just upgraded our network. And so it could be, Adam, that people are realizing that we have that now, and that will allow us to be much more nimble in the future. Conversely, it could also just be that with the major fear that a lot of other crypto networks seem to have of forking or pushing major updates that change the blockchain consensus, or I'm sorry, change the blockchain rules requiring consensus to deploy. It could just be that maybe they noticed that we've just pretty much almost completed that process, and that we didn't fall apart, and in fact we're doing just fine. So maybe that's also it.
Very interesting. I think that perhaps on the rumor, people built momentum into Dash and you just keep on buying it. Who knows what's going on? It's hard to explain. I like that you gave an update though there. That was awesome. There is a question here from the audience. When Dash evolution hits, why would someone use it over the more tried and true methods of payment like PayPal? So first, how is Dash evolution coming along? What is Dash evolution? And then answer that dude's question.
Sure, I'd be happy to answer that dude's question. So I can only imagine that Dash evolution is coming along quite well. It's being developed in a private repository right now, so I can't tell you like up to the commit where it is or whatever. But the launch of the alpha version of evolution was actually recently bumped up. It was going to be at the end of this year before, and then Director of Finance Ryan Taylor spoke in the North American Bitcoin Conference last month, and he said that alpha delivery is actually expected this summer, or if you are in another part of the world, that wouldn't be your season, middle of this year. And now, so as to what is evolution, it's fitting that you mentioned the word PayPal. Evolution is a protocol level way to offer wallets that feel and look like PayPal and that are not device specific. So whereas I'm sure if you own any cryptocurrency at all, you know what it means to have a wallet on just your smartphone and you cannot access the funds on your smartphone from your desktop, nor can you access them from your tablet, et cetera, because the private keys can only live on one device. So evolution flips all of that around in that it allows user accounts accessible via username and password to live in a layer of the Dash blockchain, so that you can access your Dash Evolution account from any device using any web app or mobile app that you want. So there could be 10 Evolution web apps. There could be 30 Evolution mobile apps. And you could log in using your same username and password to any of them. So Dash Evolution is that. It's of course much more. I don't want to go into so much right now because I don't want to have too long-winded of questions, because I want to get to your, or too long-winded of answers, because I want to get to your main question, which was, what do we have that we think could possibly be a switching incentive? As you may remember, when PayPal first launched, they were offering something like $10 or $20 free credit to your account if you signed up. We could do something like that. Certainly, there is also what we're thinking will be very attractive feature of the Evolution wallet, which is an interest-bearing account. That is like a savings account that grows, that is paid interest the longer you hold your Dash in it. The way we'll be able to offer that is that anybody who puts Dash into a savings account in their Evolution wallet, that gets included in the launching of a future masternode. So the way we're able to pay them on their savings is that those funds would be collateralized in a masternode, and they would get a proportional payout of the masternode's payout. So yeah, so it could be that, it could be something entirely different. I don't know. Maybe we take the route that Uber took, and we launch in individual cities one at a time, and we throw like a big, I don't know, a block party, and we say, bring out your smartphones, we'll give you free magic internet money just to give it a try. You know, who knows? And I'm sure there will be many approaches. I'm sure that a lot of smart people will come forward to our treasury and say, hey, I have this idea to get Evolution adopted. Will you fund me to try it? And then maybe we'll fund them.
And this will lead to some questions about governance, which I'll get to soon enough. So you're talking about incentivizing the use of this new Evolution. What makes it better than PayPal, though? I think the guy might have been trying to get to that point too.
Oh, good heavens. What doesn't make it better than PayPal? Instant transactions. There's no waiting minutes or hours or days for your money to be available to you. What's more, the money is usable to you immediately, whereas in PayPal, the only way you can spend it when you have it is to either send to someone else's PayPal account, or you have to withdraw it to your own bank account, and that of course has a day or two waiting period, last I recall. Interest-bearing accounts, as I had mentioned before. A decentralized marketplace built in to the Evolution wallet, where if I want to buy socks from Adam's sock store, I don't need to leave the wallet. I can go click on the little app that says Adam's sock store. I can say what I want to buy, and right within my wallet, an invoice will be generated, and I can just click pay, and the merchant gets notified, and the whole point of sale is taken care of right within the wallet. So there would be plenty of improvements over PayPal.
All right. Now here's an interesting question from James Bond. And James Bond has actually been on my show before too, and he's been asking this question a lot of people. And I am also curious, are you left-handed or right-handed?
I'm right-handed, but I've been trying to become a little more ambidextrous lately. Like sometimes, well, not sometimes, pretty much every day, I try to make myself brush my teeth with my left hand for at least a third of the time. I try to make myself eat with my left hand sometimes because I would really like to be ambidextrous. All
right, that is a good answer. Very solid. I am also right-handed, but I'm not working on the left hand just yet. Now, another person asked, if there are any concerns about Bitcoin adopting and adjusting benefits to match what Dash offers, and making Dash less relevant. Just could Bitcoin adopt everything that Dash does, and then what happens to Dash?
I kind of wish that they would. Wouldn't that be easier? Everybody who owns Dash because Bitcoin wasn't working the way we thought it was going to work. If Bitcoin were to suddenly adopt everything that Dash does, how much easier would all of this stuff be? Because Bitcoin has 2 orders of magnitude greater market cap than we do, plus more brand name recognition. So that would be totally awesome. Is it going to happen? I would give it less than an ice cube's chance in hell of happening.
Wow. Yes. Strong words, but hey, that's what it is. That's Amanda's answer right there. I want to get, because your guys are not afraid of Bitcoin. That's what we concluded last video also. And taking on the big dog, that's what you guys are trying to do. Hey, that's your business. Now, I was very impressed when I saw that the Trezor, I plugged into my Trezor to check out my Bitcoin, and then I see that I can check out my Dash on there just as easily. What a great feature for people who want to buy and hold. I mean, this is going to get people who never thought about Dash in terms of buying and holding to get into Dash. How did this come about, and what do you think about it?
Well, some business integrations we know about ahead of time because some business development people in Dash were the ones who initiate them, and then sometimes they'll ask for treasury funds to help cover the integration costs of that particular merchant so that it's less of a burden or not at all a burden on them to integrate Dash. But the Trezor integration was not one of them. The Trezor folks just seem to be sharp, smart, hip folks in that they just want to, they want to sell as many Trezors as they can. And so it seems like they look for coins who they imagine have the most either large holders or long-term holders or both, and then they seek to integrate that coin to sell more Trezors. And so yeah, it's great. And then because KeepKey is so closely related to Trezor, Dash is also supported on KeepKey, and if I'm not very much mistaken, I believe it's also supported on Ledger. So I think all the major hardware wallets support Dash.
Well, I'm kind of surprised they did it on their own, is what you're saying. The Trezor.
I'm almost positive, yeah.
That's good news. Again, I thought it was part of the whole marketing approach, because as everyone knows, I am very impressed by the marketing of the approach that Dash takes, and that kind of leads me into you guys were on Crush the Street, which I have been on too. I think that's a great way to reach out. I think Dash is just reaching out to people that are beyond the traditional Bitcoin cryptocurrency ecosystem. Now you're about to go down to Mexico. Tell us about what's going on in Mexico and what you'll be doing there.
Sure. So there has been a conference down in Acapulco, Mexico, put on by Jeff Berwick for the last 3 years, and he calls it Anarchapulco. And so this year, their 3rd year, they're dedicating an entire day to cryptocurrency, which is a first. And so I am lucky enough to be able to speak, to be able to present Dash Evolution, actually, even with the fancy overhead projector. So I'll be able to show some screenshots of it as well. So that will be on the 28th, February 28th. And I think that Anarchapulco is going to upload it to their YouTube channel. If they don't, which I'm sure they will, but we might also upload it to ours. But if they do, I don't want to like split the views. So I would just leave it on their YouTube channel for anyone who wants to watch. And yeah, again, like the Treasury really made this happen, because Pete and I probably would not have been interested in going and presenting Dash at Cryptopolco if it were a big like cost center to us. If we had to foot the entire bill and be out the funds for it. But that's not how things work in Dash. So we put in a treasury proposal to get the cost of our travel and lodging covered, and the stakeholders voted yes. And so we won't be out anything, and it'll be great.
We're going to get into that governance stuff in a second. Well, I think it's great that down at that first of all, you're going to a conference that is, again, beyond cryptocurrency. I'm glad that guy who's putting it on isn't going to have a whole day dedicated to Shemitah. Instead, he's doing something that's actually real, like cryptocurrency, not some completely insane thing like Shemitah. So I'm glad he's reaching out to sane people and, getting people there to talk cryptocurrency. It's great. It's great that you guys are going down there. I commend you, because even though they might talk about insane Shemitah things there sometimes, a lot of people do come down there that are into stuff, and hey, they want to learn about cryptocurrency. I think that is awesome. Now, about the reach out that Dash can do. Have you guys thought about getting on first of all, there's a rumor about getting on the Coinbase exchange. Maybe you can talk about that. But I think something Dash could do proactively is try to get on some of these foreign exchanges. Like there's an exchange in Mexico. There's an exchange in Zimbabwe. I mean, they would talk to you guys, I think. What's going on with the Coinbase rumor, and then maybe reach out to other exchanges?
Sure. So the Coinbase thing is a rumor, as you say, and it won't be proven or disproven until, I guess, maybe the end of March or beginning of April. The reason the rumor started is because last month, Ryan Taylor, Director of Finance, put in a treasury proposal to Dash that asked for funds to cover the integration costs of what he would only call a major exchange. And, many of us asked for further details about it. Like, I personally asked, do they support credit card buys, et cetera, et cetera? And he said, I can't tell you because there are so few of what I would consider major exchanges that even answering that question would tell you who it is. And so, so the integration is set to launch end of March or 1st of April. And so then we should know who it is. And as far as foreign exchanges, Dash derivatives were just added to BitMEX the other day. And I guess I'm only assuming that BitMEX is based in Mexico. I guess I don't know that for sure. I think they are.
I don't know if they are. I don't know. I'm not sure about that one.
I'm not sure.
It's very dark in the room I'm in right now. I know people are going to complain. Sorry, guys. Continue, Amanda. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, and as far as other exchanges, I mean, I'm sure our volume has been picking up a lot lately, and exchanges seem primarily concerned with volume because that's how they make their money. The more volume, the more trading fees. So I think that between a combination of people in Dash proactively reaching out, like the business developers, for example, and then exchanges just taking notice and saying, hey, we want a piece of this pie, it seems like that's what's going to happen, and that's what is happening.
Very interesting. I think just the reason I bring up foreign exchanges, especially kind of out of the way ones like Zimbabwe, it gets right now in some of these countries, all they know is Bitcoin. So it's a unique opportunity to just get people talking about Dash in those Bitcoin communities, in those cryptocurrency communities. Just something I'm throwing out there. Maybe you guys can think about it. I wanted your opinion on that. Speaking of, I guess, reach out again. You guys, I have heard, have sponsored conferences before. And in all honesty, I think that's great. Some people have criticized that. Do you have anything to say about the criticism of a coin being a sponsor of a conference?
No.
Awesome. I like that. So it's straight up marketing. It's straight up marketing, then, is what you consider. It's just another form of marketing.
Everything is marketing because the market is just another word for all people. And so anytime you try to reach out to people to give them a message about what you have to offer them and ask if they'd be interested in trading with you and becoming your customer or your business partner, that's all an act of marketing. So of course it's all marketing. Even what you and I are doing now is marketing.
Yeah, it is. It is, I mean, again, it's reach out. It's reach out by you, the spokesperson of Dash. I think it's a great idea to get on all these shows. I heard about some of the GeneralBytes ATM. Do you know about that? They're going to have Dash. What's going on with that?
Yeah, they already do, actually. Apparently, all the GeneralBytes operator needs to do is just tweak his software to enable it. Or I guess maybe just accept the latest update is what he would need to do now that I think about it. But yeah, so a GeneralBytes update has been pushed that supports Dash, and so the operator just needs to tell his machine that that's what he wants, and it should work on all of them.
Okay, this is another way of getting the Dash name out there, it appears. Here's a marketing question. All right, I mean, a general Dash question. How long is your contract or your agreement with Dash going to last here? Is there a time limit to it? And do you think you have played a major role in the Dash name getting out there? I mean, I know it's hard to say good things about yourself or whatever, but there's two topics there. Elaborate, I guess.
So I don't know if contract is the right word. With the Treasury proposals, I guess the right word would be multi-month payout or multi-month agreement. I just put in a renewal proposal, and it's for 3 payouts, so 3 months. So I guess you could say that I am asking to renew the Dash detailed contract every 3 months. And by the way, let me take this opportunity to say that this most recent renewal proposal is to add a new weekly show. And it would be called the Dash Detailed Spotlight. And it would be an interview show with important actors within the Dash space, be they developers or business owners or investors, etc. So if that passes, and it's currently passing, it currently has enough more yeses than nos to pass. If it ends up passing within, I guess, 9 days, that would be the voting cutoff, then you can expect 2 shows from us per week, every Wednesday and every Friday.
Oh.
So, oh, look at you moving around. Hey, yeah. Now we can see your handsome face. Isn't that nice? Okay, good. And then your second question was, what, do I think I have played a role in how well Dash is doing?
Yeah,
I would hope. Yeah. I would hope so. If not, they've wasted money on me and Pete. So I would certainly hope so. I like to think that we have what some have called a very serious feedback loop mechanism in Dash, where the more value we can offer the customer, meaning the more Dash the customer chooses to buy as a result, the higher the Dash price, and that means the greater the purchasing power of our treasury. Because we still just have 10% of the block reward available in the treasury every month, but if we're pleasing our customers better and they're buying more Dash, our treasury can now afford to purchase more things. That is, hire more contractors, sponsor bigger, better conferences, et cetera, et cetera. And so, yes, I would hope that I have been a useful cog in this machine, and I hope to continue being so.
All right, we are going to talk about governance in a second, but sometimes you get asked some crazy questions out there. Now, everyone who's listening live, we have a lot of people listening live, by the way. Amanda and I have been talking about marketing. I talk about marketing a lot. Someone asked a question, why did Dash change its name from Darkcoin to Dash? And they had some conspiracy theory reason. They gave a conspiracy reason. So Amanda, give them the simple reason why you would want to change your name from Darkcoin to Dash.
Well, I did not work for Dash at the time they had the name change, and I have not gone back over the forum to read the conversations that were had regarding the name change. So I actually don't know. But I must say that I thought it was a wise decision. In fact, at the time that they did that, I think that was early 2015, I was writing for Cointelegraph. And I remember coming across a little news blip, like something Darkcoin has rebranded to Dash. And I thought that was so smart that I wrote an article about it that day. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't, like I said, I haven't read the forum, so I don't know what the reasons were at the time, but I can only guess that the reasons were that Darkcoin, in my opinion, is kind of a dumb name. I think that anything after Bitcoin that ends with coin was a poor choice. So yeah, so I think that it was a smart move.
It's marketing. It's marketing. I mean, do you want to be associated with the dark market, and a bunch of dudes selling drugs and dealing porn, or do you want to be digital cash? I mean, it's a simple marketing move so the people who say, I don't know what these people are saying. I mean, the conspiracies that people come up with about Dash.
They're exciting, aren't they?
Exciting is a one way of looking at it. I don't know if people are angry or jealous of Dash. I don't understand it. Every coin has an evolution. Every altcoin out there. If you are into, first of all, I tell people to buy Bitcoin. But if people are going to get into this altcoin thing, then they're got to get used to everybody's got a different story here. So I don't. Some of this stuff has become ridiculous with Dash. And I mean, how do you deal with all this ridiculous stuff that's out there? I mean, it's.
Well, that is the internet. That is the trade-off that is interacting with people who usually their real names and their real faces aren't out there. And so there are two sides to that coin. When someone's real world reputation isn't on the line, they're likely to do one of two things. Sometimes they will send you inordinate praise, or just inordinately kind, considerate comments that, maybe they would have been too shy in real life to have said to your face. And so, there's that side of the internet. And then, of course, the flip side of that is some people will say the most hateful, most vitriolic things that, again, they would probably never have dared say to your face. And so that's just the internet, and that's what it is.
All right, so what we're talking about, and we're going to get to the governance, because there was a guy in my comment section who wanted you to talk about the governance, and governance is becoming an interesting topic in the cryptocurrency world. I know Charlie Lee has brought up a certain coin he admired on governance, but I'm going to let you talk about the Dash governance in a second. When we're talking about the birth of coins, pre-mined coins, what is your opinion on pre-mined coins? Yeah.
I don't think there's any right or wrong way to launch a coin. I mean, in the end, the market will tell us, first of all, the market will tell us whether it even cares about how a coin was launched. And then secondly, it will select one or more of the coins that it likes best. My guess is that the way that the coin was launched won't have much bearing upon that, because what is far more important is going to just be the usability. Is this a thing that makes a person's life easier or not? If it makes their life easier, they're probably going to want to use it. If it doesn't, they probably won't. The rest is only important to the cryptosphere. No one else cares.
And I think that's a really important point for people to remember out there. Everyone is not technical. The cryptosphere is this little sliver of the world that has some people who are very technologically skilled and care about how this coin came about and what's pre-mined and what's not and this, that, and the other. And in the end of the day, how are you going to be successful? Is it people use your coin? People are using Bitcoin right now. Who else is going to be used out there? What other coin is going to be used? There's a battle out there. So that's why I like to talk about Dash and have always said it was a great move for them to hire Amanda, is because they're trying to get the word out there about them so people use them. If you want to live in a little insular community where you just say how great your coin is to one another, that isn't going to get your coin used by anyone but yourselves circle jerking with each other. I mean, seriously, I'm sorry to use terminology like this. I don't curse on this show, but that's a dirty term, I guess. Anyway, tell us about the governance of Dash. It is different. It allows there to be a budget and people to be paid. I mean, this is very different to some people. So go into that.
Sure. So there is an implicit recognition in Dash that money is power. Or as the old saying goes, he who holds the purse strings makes the rules. Or another version of the old saying says the golden rule says that he who has the gold makes the rules. People may like to believe otherwise, but it doesn't matter because that's how humans operate. He who holds the purse strings makes the rules. And so in Dash, that is made explicit in that our governance system and our treasury system are precisely the same system. So when we take votes on things, when we have a governance vote, 9 times out of 10, it has to do with where to send funds. We can take a simple yes/no vote like an opinion poll, and we have, for example, to increase our block size cap, that was just an opinion poll. It didn't have to do with funds. But actually, in a way, it kind of does have to do with funds, because if and when the day comes that we push up against our 1 megabyte block size cap, because we've already voted that it should be lifted, if the developers of Dash didn't lift it, we would know that it's time to seriously consider removing their funding. We would know that it's seriously time to consider firing them and hiring a development team that does follow the votes of the master nodes. And so the governance and the treasury are like this because people respond to incentives. And when your rules are your protocol, then the people who write the protocol need to be incentivized. And so that is what we do. That is how it works. It's simple yes/no votes of who to pay and who not to pay.
So I want to go back to something you said. So you're getting reapproved 3 months after 3 months after three months, correct? It's 3 months segments?
Well, my last proposal was actually for 6 months, but some people had left comments that they would have preferred it to be shorter. And so that's why I did 3 months this time.
Okay. So when would that next 3 months start?
What is today? The end of...
So it'll be March 1st soon, yeah.
I guess it would end at the end of May. It would end at the end of May. So I would put in another proposal at the beginning of June, I think. Yeah.
Okay, but so are you saying the next 3 months aren't approved yet? Your next 3 months after this conference aren't approved yet? Or they are?
So there's no way to know that a vote is final until the very last day of the voting cycle. And the voting cycle is a month long. So right now we're almost 3 weeks into our current voting cycle. Now, currently my proposal has enough yes votes to pass. But of course, within the next week, someone could send in a deluge of no votes. You know, someone who hasn't voted yet could send in a deluge of no votes, or many someones. So yeah, I'm hoping that doesn't happen. And if it doesn't happen, then yes, I will know for sure that it has passed in a little over a week. And at that time, I will also be paid immediately from the blockchain as well. So it all happens at the same time. The votes are finalized and the payouts are made. I'm pretty sure like at the same block.
You know, it's very interesting. I'm reading the chat session here, and I just went on a rant about how this tech stuff is completely nonsense. You know, getting people to use the coin, and yet people are still asking tech questions. Do people listen? I mean, people are so dense. Again, you have to have high social IQ to function in this world, people. I advise some people who are like stuck in the internet world to maybe go out and meet real people and become socialized individuals. And maybe they won't hate Dash as much. Seriously, meet real people and you might not get obsessed with hating on a cryptocurrency. Second of all, I'm glad people want to ask me questions, but Amanda is the guest. So we should have questions for Amanda, not Adam. If you have a question for Adam, you can ask that when Adam has his own show. Again, there's just certain, common ways we act in life, ways to be polite and stuff. Now, Amanda, I was wondering, right now people are telling me Bitcoin is surging in price. Do you have an opinion on that at all? Do you think that's good for the ecosystem, getting more people into cryptocurrency? What do you think's going on?
I don't think price in the long run is too much of a good or bad on the ecosystem, because that if prices are going like this, what does that do for the average end user that we're hoping to get? Well, nothing. So I think it's a neutral effect. Maybe it grabs a few headlines. Again, that may be a neutral effect. I think it'll just, as I had said before, if we're not able to offer a product that your mother can feel comfortable using, and rather maybe even delights in using, if we're not able to offer that, then all of this doesn't matter, because the prices of all of these coins are going to go to zero. So who even cares about what the hypes were at what date and time?
All right. So do you have a prediction for the year 2020? What is Dash going to be doing in the year 2020? What's the cryptocurrency ecosystem going to be like in the year 2020?
Ooh, that's an interesting question. So that is 3 years out. I am predicting that in 2020, we are starting to onboard merchants in a flood. We're starting to onboard merchants to the Evolution Merchant App Store in high numbers, and that some media coverage is coming out around that, similar to the media coverage when, for example, Overstock started taking Bitcoin, etc. And so that is what I predict Dash will be doing. I don't know if that would be too early a time for us to have any physical support locations. I've heard lead developer Evan Duffield mention in the past that he would like to see one day our treasury covering the expenses of running some support locations, a la, how when you walk into the Apple store, they're just standing right there ready to help you with your Apple products. And it's a really positive experience for the most part. Evan Duffield's vision is that people can and should be able to do the same with Dash. Say your mother is not having an utterly delightful experience with her Evolution wallet. There's something she's not sure about or can't figure out. What if she can pop into the old Dash support store down the street and somebody can help her in person, that sort of thing. Whether that will be happening in 2020 or not, I'm not sure, but it does seem to be the direction that we're headed.
All right, here's a question, and you talked about incentives to use Evolution. Are there going to be incentives for merchants to adopt Dash and use Evolution, like PayPal did with $20 bonuses?
So the primary reason that, I don't know if there will be sign-on bonuses or not. I mean, creating an Evolution wallet is creating an Evolution wallet. I would think that would apply to whomever. So I'm not sure on that aside, but as for just why would a merchant want to be in the App Store, if we build the App Store correctly, and if Evolution is in fact a product that the market wants, it should increase the merchant's sales, because it should remove friction from the checkout process. And now in terms of fees, it seems to be that Dash Evolution's fee structure is envisioned to be much the same as the way credit cards work. Not that we would charge as much as credit cards, I don't think so, but rather, to hear Ryan Taylor talk about it, he comes from the legacy payments industry. He says that all successful payment systems today are free for the customer to use, and it's the merchant who pays the processing fee. He points out how he thinks that cryptocurrency is so backwards in that it's the other way around. The customer is expected to pay the fee to spend his money. And so it won't be that with Dash Evolution. Peer-to-peer transfers, as in a transfer of Dash made not to a merchant app, but just to another user, should be free indefinitely. And then only if you go into the merchant app store and say, I want to buy a pair of socks from Adam's sock store, when the invoice is then generated and paid, only then would you, the merchant, be responsible for the transaction fee in that transaction. For me, the customer, I don't see it. What the price tag is what it is.
Two more questions before we call it a day here. This one is actually from the audience. The other one the other one's from the audience also. If I wanted to take, say, 50 to 100 Dash and share a masternode, how would I do that?
Oh yeah, that's a great question. So like I said, come evolution, you would just put that Dash into your savings account, and it would be a trustless solution, if you will, in that you would not need to send your private keys anywhere in order to earn a return from having your stuff get put into a masternode. However, pre-evolution, which is to say now, there are two trusted options offered by longtime members of the Dash community. One service can be accessed at masternode.me. His handle is moocowmoo, and I believe he takes deposits of masternode shares in either batches of 25 or 50 Dash. And then the other person who offers a very similar service, his name is Splawick, and he doesn't have a website, so to talk to him and to start doing shares with him, you would either just look up Splawick at dash.org/forum, or you would go to our subreddit, or you would go to our Slack. He lives in all of those places. And so yeah, so the way it works is those guys, either moocowmoo or Splawick, they take these deposits from people, and then as soon as they have 1,000, they themselves spin up a masternode, and then they pay you your proportion of it. And then I don't know if they have contracts, like a 3-month contract or a 6-month contract or whatever, but obviously whenever your contract with them ends, they also send you back your balance, however much Dash you had in the masternode to begin with.
Okay, a dog started barking in the background here. We've had some issues with dogs barking in the background. It's very, very odd. Anyway, the final question. You say, obviously, you've got a huge event down there in Mexico coming up. Are there any other events coming up soon? Any other ways people can find you out there in the real world? Anything else planned?
Yeah, there sure is, Adam. As you may remember me mentioning the last time you and I spoke, our treasury recently paid to rent out real live office space for a couple of Dash's developers down at Arizona State University. It's in a building called the SkySong Innovation Center. It's a very fancy building. And my partner, Pete, decided that it would be really cool to have an open house down there so that anybody who wanted to check out these offices and or, hey, meet Evan Duffield or Ryan Taylor or myself can come to it. So it's March 30th. You can find the details about it. I think I tweeted about it recently, but I'll post a link to the details in the comment section of this video. It begins at 5:30 p.m. All are welcome. It's of course free to attend. We'll be feeding you pizza. We'll be making some presentations to introduce people to Dash who may not know what it is. And then at the end of the evening, we'll also have a Dash giveaway. So if you don't own any Dash yet, you can come out and we'll give you some. And so yeah, that is March 30th in just outside of Phoenix.
All right. I had it on mute there for a second, so the dog couldn't bother. You can hear me, right?
I can now. That was nice of you to have done. Thanks.
Yes. All right. So we have reached the conclusion of this show. Amanda Johnson, thank you so much for returning to the show. I hope you enjoyed your time here and that you'll come back in the future. Any final concluding thoughts?
No, I appreciate you, Adam. I appreciate that you just have such a damn good attitude, and as you have said many times, you recommend that people buy Bitcoin. You call yourself the BitcoinMeister even. But you recognize that the market may want what the market may want, and it may not always be what we ourselves think it might want. And so I just really appreciate your open-mindedness and your politeness in having me on your show.
Well, thank you. That means a lot, Amanda. And I wanted to say to everyone out there who's listening and watching live today that if you want to do a show in a different way than this, if you want to have a technological show or a show where you, tell jokes like Howard Stern and stuff like that, you can start your own show. That is the freedom of this world. That is the free market, and that's what cryptocurrency is all about. Let the best coin win. Let the best video win. So go on, people. Make your own shows. I encourage everyone to make their own shows. Put your face out there, your real face. This is who I am. I had to shave before here. All the imperfections, and we all have all sorts of imperfections. But put it out there, people, and do your own show the way you want to do your show. I encourage it. Amanda might come on your show. Who knows? I'm sure that would please so many of you to have Amanda on your show because so many are obsessed with her. It's quite amazing, actually, and obsessed with Dash. So I'm Adam Meister, the BitcoinMeister, the DisruptMeister. Remember to share this video, like this video, subscribe to the channel. And speaking about liking this video, when I speak about Dash, I get a lot of comments from people that are haters, yet the likes are just always quite high. Now, obviously, by mentioning this, I'm asking for it now to get the downvotes. But there's something called the silent majority out there. Look it up. Look up what that means. And think about how it might relate to some of the situation that involves Dash. Again, I'm Adam Meister, the BitcoinMeister. Your homework assignment is to look up silent majority. Thanks a lot, Amanda. I will talk to everyone later. Bye-bye.